बड़ा मजा आएगा इसका। I'll get that framed. Get it framed and keep it. My sweetest, my dearest, Snapchat. You. I don't want to show you the middle finger. See you. Bye.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, you are here.
Yes, ma'am, you're.
I'm audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
I request Reena Reddy, can you please start this meet?
Thank you, Pawan Kalyan. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Reena.
Good evening, one and all present here. I am Reena Reddy, welcoming you all to today's webinar and interactive session on the recent judgment given by the Honorable Supreme Court on the abortional rights of unmarried women. This webinar is hosted by Sri Venkateshwara Law Students Association. It is my privilege that today we have our esteemed guest, Ms. MahaLakshmi Pavani Garu, a senior advocate in Supreme Court and president of Women Lawyers Association. Ma'am, our Law Students Association welcomes you, ma'am. Now I would like to invite my beloved lawmate, Pawan Kalyan, to speak a few words about our association. Pawan Kalyan, please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Reena. Sri Venkateswara Law Students Association, SVLSA, was established in 2022 in order to spread the legal knowledge to all the law students by conducting academic activities with legal luminaries in India. Until now, we have conducted 9 webinars all over. In that, 8 are national webinars and 1 is international webinar. In the national webinars, we have conducted people from the legal fraternity had given their insightful knowledge on the legal practice who had an eminent expertise in law. With the help of Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati, we have conducted online legal webinars as university law students from the 5 years BLLB Department of Law in our own individual capacity had been conducting legal webinars, as we have got very nice response by students from different universities and colleges. We decided not to stop with only a few, but to expand the reach of these academic activities that we involved to all the law students around India under our association SVLSA, Sri Venkateswara Law Students Association, so that every law student will have the exposure of legal teachings from the legal luminaries of India in the legal fraternity. Our mottos are to learn legal knowledge from luminaries expert in the subject of law and to promote a better understanding of communication among the law students and all across India in the subject of law, and to evolve and impact comprehensive legal education at all levels to achieve excellence, and to disseminate legal knowledge by organizing lectures, seminars, symposia, workshops, and conferences. As we have mentioned already, our motto behind doing these academic activities, our only intention is to make sure that as law students, we are well equipped with the knowledge and up to date. There is in difference in reading and in understanding theoretical knowledge. But what we need at most as a law student is a practical exposure of the law on how things are happening at present in the court of law. We want every law student to be part of this family and involved in our work. We welcome all students to be part in the activities. Thank you. Thank you, Reena. And welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, Kalyan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pawan Kalyan, for giving an elaborate explanation about our Students Association. Then I would like to invite Praveena to read out the portfolios of today's eminent speaker, Sri MahaLakshmi Pavani Garu. Hand over to Praveena. Unmute yourself. Praveena, unmute yourself. Praveena, unmute yourself. Pravina, unmute yourself. Kalyan, please let Pravina to speak.
Yeah, I think facing technical problems. Okay, I will continue with ma'am's portfolio also. MahaLakshmi Pavani, ma'am, is a senior advocate who holds the distinction of being the first woman from Karnataka and the sixth woman to be designated senior advocate by the Supreme Court of India after a full court was bestowed upon her the coveted senior's gown on 23rd April 2015. Hailing from Bengaluru, Karnataka, Miss Pavani ma'am pursued her legal education from Bangalore University, from where she earned her BA LLB, and subsequently she acquired through correspondence her MA Human Rights Periyar University and LLM Labor and Administrative Laws from the Annamalai University. Miss Pavani ma'am enrolled with the Bar Council of Karnataka on 21st August 1992 and commenced practice under the aegis of the late Shri K.C. Shivasubramaniam Garu, advocate Miss King and patronage, thereby gaining tremendous exposure in the fields of civil, criminal and corporate litigation, as well as conveyancing. She has conducted cases and appeared before the Karnataka High Court and also before tribunals, quasi-judicial bodies and other lower courts in the state of Karnataka. In 1993, she was appointed standing counsel in the criminal court, Mayo Hall. Over the years, Ms. Pavani ma'am has represented the Union of India, the state of Punjab, and represented political leaders like Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, H.D. Devegowda, H.D. Kumaraswamy, late Dorej Kandu, late Jayalalitha, ministers of different states, and a number of matters argued before the Supreme Court and done a number of cases for private litigants. Her forte being service law and criminal law. She is also on the legal aid panel of Supreme Court. In 2014, she was elected President, Supreme Court Women Lawyers Association, and a post she continues to hold to this day. On 27th March 2015, Ms. Pavani ma'am was elected as the first representative of the Supreme Court Bar Association in the Gender Sensitization Committee, a post which she held for 2 years in the December 2015. She was elected as senior executive member of the Supreme Court Bar Association and held the post for a year. On 12th December 2019, Ms. Pavani ma'am contested for the post of senior executive at the Supreme Court Bar Association and won with the highest number of votes in 10 years. She was also part of the search committee institute to identify deserving advocates and recommend them to the Honorable Chief Justice of India to be elevated to different high courts across India. On 27th September 2019, a book titled Parameshwara to PP, which was edited by Miss Pavani and dedicated in the fond memory of her late father-in-law, Sri P.P. Rao, was released by Sri Venkaiah Naidu, Honorable Vice President of India. On 2nd September 2022, she was nominated as member of JSICC by the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Honorable Justice Sri U.U. Lalit Garu. Thank you, Arina, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Pavan Kalyan, for introducing ma'ams and elevating all the elements in her life. Ma'am, today's topic is abortion rights of unmarried women. Like Supreme Court has allowed unmarried women to get medical termination according to her choice up to a period of time like 24 weeks. And Supreme Court have also said that there is no reason to restrict such provisions only to married women. I would like to hand over the platform to you, ma'am. Ma'am, and we are very excited and keen to listen about the views that your views on the judgment. So without wasting a minute of time, I would like to hand over the platform to you, ma'am. Ma'am.
Thank you, Reena. Thank you, Reena Reddy. Thank you, Pavan Kalyan, for having me come to you on a virtual platform and to speak about this landmark judgment of Honorable Justice Chandrachud, Justice A.S. Bopanna, and Justice J.V. Pardiwala. In fact, it was delivered on September 29, 2022, which is also considered as a safe abortion day in the world. So it is made it more historic. It's a landmark verdict. Why? because here it does not discriminate between a married woman and an unmarried woman. So that's the more reason. See, there are judgments where high courts, different high courts have, and the Supreme Court in matters have allowed this kind of an abortion of an unmarried woman. There are instances where unmarried women have approached the Supreme Court, in Meera Santosh Paul's case, and then Sarmishta Chaudhary's case, and Mamta's case. This was, and then where the names are not said, it is in the case of X or in the case of Y and things like that. So, but what is very important is, see, the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act came into effect on 2nd August 1971. So it came 51 years ago. Why did it come? It came actually to enable women, married women, to undergo a safe abortion procedure, because women that time could not, they did not have a safe atmosphere to go and have an abortion. They had only access to quacks and illegal centers, which led to a lot of maternal mortality rate. So that is why this thing came up. Now, in 2021, there was an amendment to the Act of the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act, wherein they replaced the word husband with that of a partner. Despite that, the legislature, what did it do? It did not encourage unmarried women to undergo this abortion. The RMPs, the registered medical practitioners, would not allow abortion to take place. They would harass, kind of, tell, no, we will not do it and all. So these unmarried women had to come to court. So why in this judgment is important was because the High Court of Delhi, they said, no, we cannot allow this abortion of a fetus of 22 weeks to be aborted. So here in this case was a young lady of 25 years from Manipur. She was the eldest of 5 siblings. Her parents are farmers and she's working in Delhi. She's not even working, she's staying in Delhi, and she had a consensual relationship, the result of which she became pregnant. So she was 22 weeks pregnant. So that is about 5.5 months pregnant, wherein her partner had refused to marry her. So she didn't want to be saddled with the burden of a child. She didn't want to bring it into this world. So she moved the High Court. On 15th July, the verdict came. They said, no, we will not allow you to abort. So she approached the Honorable Supreme Court. She approached the Supreme Court, and then they immediately took notice of this, and they constituted a committee of doctors from the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, and they asked the government to conduct her abortion on the government the government would support, pay the bill and things like that. So that is how this judgment came. And then Honorable Justice Chandrachud thought in his wisdom that he should lay down the law. Lay down the law. Why? Because, India is a country which still is a patriarchal country, and it still lives in the villages. And this unmarried, women giving birth to children is a social taboo. It is looked down upon, and nobody likes it. It is, see, we all should accept the fact that today, with modern times, with the technology going so much progressive and things like that, everyone has access to mobiles and internet and all that. So, and now there are a lot of co-education schools. So there are so many children, girls and boys who are minors, who meet each other, may have fallen in love, or may have consensual sex. They may not even know what sex is, but they get pregnant, and then they are in a state of mind where you can't even tell the family, because society will look down on you and things like that. So what do they do? How does it becomes very, very there are girls who even go to the extent of committing suicide because they are not able to confront society. They are not able to stand on their feet because they come from different socio-economic backgrounds. Their entire financial stability, they themselves are babies, they themselves are young. How do they bring a child into this? So he said, when a live-in relationship is legitimate in this country, when it has got legal sanctity, why not an unmarried woman? Why can't she have that liberty to have a complete independent autonomy over her body? See, I'm reminded of Margaret Sanger. She was an American author and an activist. And what she said? She said that woman must have her freedom, complete fundamental freedom to of choosing whether or not to be a mother and how many children she has to have, regardless of the fact that it is one's of what one's attitude may be. And that problem is hers and only hers. So he has given the freedom to the unmarried woman, pro-life or pro-choice. See, you are talking about life, but what about the choice of the woman? Doesn't she have an independent right over her own body? Who can control her? Nobody has any right to say whether she can go for an abortion or not. She has a complete right to her thing. By saying that, look, you have to continue with the pregnancy, it is an affront to her dignity, and that is not acceptable. She is a woman, she knows what she's got into, and she should have every right to abort her fetus. So this has been given on a platter in the form of a judgment to the women in this country. But does it reach the women in the country is another thing to look at, because here it is the government which has to come into action, and they have to, create awareness, not create awareness only in the cities and urban places and all, but also in districts. They should, put it on a platform. Why? Because there is so much of social taboo. So there has to be sex education, which has to be made compulsory, primary health centers where you have to have a doctor, a registered medical practitioner. The primary health centers have to be equipped, and a lot of social things. Because as for a minor child, what happens was, see, there are 7 categories under section 3(2) of the MTP rules. So what are the 7 categories which permit abortion? That is, the 7 categories are rape survivors, minors with the consent of their guardians, they can go and have an abortion. People, the women with physical disability, women with mental disability who are mentally retarded and are victims of an incest or a rape or whatever, and where the child has a fetal abnormality and things like that. These women have that right to go and get aborted, and the registered medical practitioner, he will give a certificate and he will do it. And sometimes they don't do it also. They insist on, because why is that the registered medical practitioner, he's scared. Why? Because abortion is a criminality under sections 312 to 318 of the Indian Penal Code. So they are also liable, because if you terminate an unborn child, you can be penalized. See, this happened in one case in the year 1990, I think, I can't remember, versus state of Bihar. So a man from there, he was actually convicted of an offense because he had a consensual relationship with a woman, but he went and got her, tried to abort her, and she got killed. So she died because of unsafe legal procedures, abortion procedures and things like that. So it was very necessary that to give these kind of women a safe haven. So they brought this MTP Act. But even now, there is a kind of a stigma attached. So and this judgment, it categorically gives you confidentiality. There is the confidentiality clause. If you're a minor, see, under the POCSO Act, it is section 19(1), you have to disclose. But now what they have said is, they have said that these two will work together, the POCSO Act as well as this MTP Act, and the confidentiality clause is to be maintained. And the registered medical practitioner, he will not insist on who the girl is or what background she comes for. He does it very quietly without knowledge to anybody. And it is not only a person, unmarried people, means it's not somebody who's in a relationship also. Sometimes what happens, girls are so young, so in their families also they are subjected to some kind of a sexual harassment, sexual torture. There may be an incest, uncle, doing something to the girl, or a cousin, or a servant, or some kind of a relationship, and the girl who's a minor, who doesn't even know what sex is all about, who doesn't even know she's pregnant, she's subjected to some kind of a thing, or she may be intoxicated and raped without anything. So there are instances like this where the family is not able to come out in public, and but now it is now made legal. They can go and they can get it done. They don't have to give their name or anything, so that confidentiality is maintained. So these are so many barriers and things like that. And apart from that, see, another thing is why an unmarried woman or has to go to this hospital. See, public health system is not very great in villages or districts. They don't have all the super specialty things and things like. So that at that time it becomes really, really difficult, for a woman to go there and subject herself to. So these kind of barriers are there. So to remove all these barriers and facilitate a safe abortion for a woman, this judgment makes it very, very easy. So, and then after this, there is, see, initially the MTP Act allowed abortion for a fetus from to 12 weeks. Now in 2021, they amended it. So from 12 weeks, it has now, the length of the pregnancy has risen to 20 weeks. So anybody can go and get it done. But a registered medical practitioner, he will examine the thing and then he will give his certificate, subject to which she will get herself aborted. So, and previously they would not touch an unmarried thing, saying that, oh, she has to get her consent. Today, what happens? The girl who's pregnant, except for the fact if she's a minor or she's mentally ill or mentally unstable, her guardian will give the thing in consent. But otherwise, if she's proper, she's normal and things like that, and she's in a consensual relationship or whatever, consensual relationship, she does not have to take the consent of her partner. She can straight away go. She has complete control over her body, because at the end of the day, she should be happy giving birth to the child. If she's not happy, if she can't look after herself, why bring a child onto this earth and subject it to trauma and torture and taunts? And when she's not financially sound, she herself is a student somewhere or something like that, how on earth is she going to take care of that child? So she has to be given that independent the right to abort her child. When she doesn't want it, she doesn't want it. So why compel her? Why force her to have something which she's not happy with? So these were the mental things, see. And sometimes what happens, even in married cases, a woman, see, like he's talked about marital rape. He says, yes, sometimes women are in a marital relationship, but they are subjected to violence and torture and things like that. Sometimes a woman is forced to become pregnant. Why? She may have 2 girl child. They will want to have a boy, so they will force her, and her body is not capable of producing it, or her body is not ready to take that kind of a burden. So she wants to be done with it. So here, previously they would ask the husband to come and sign, or the mother-in-law, somebody, but now it's nothing like that. She has complete autonomy, complete independence, decisional autonomy over her body, which is her temple. She has, so it is a great a relief. It's a relief, See, previously, a 18-year-old has the right to vote. So when a person has the right to vote and choose his leader, doesn't she have the right to do what she wants with her child, with her unborn fetus? I'm sure she would want to. So this is a welcome step. It's a progressive judgment. That's what I look at it as, and it has come from an all men bench. So that shows, what does it show? It shows the progressive mindset of the judges, and probably all men are also, going towards it. So this is in a nutshell. I have given you what the judgment is about. So it is a 75-page judgment wherein the lordships have taken what is dignity, what is how is a woman's privacy, fundamental right to privacy, Puttaswamy's judgment, and independent thought judgment. All these judgments are placed here, and that is how he has evolved and said that here, this is a woman and she has her complete right over her body. Yeah, Reena.
Ma'am, Now, shall we conduct a interaction?
Yeah, please do, please do.
Okay. If anyone are having any queries regarding the session, you can please ask. Madam is ready to tell all of your queries.
Because I was told that they will be asking me questions. So that is why I just summed up the entire judgment in a nutshell.
Yes,
And
ma'am. Please don't feel shy. Please unmute yourself and ask questions. Kalyan, please allow the people who want to ask questions.
one at a time, but.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Name?
So the question which I would like to ask you is the matter about minor girls.
Yeah.
So the minors, they need the consent from the guardian,
Yeah.
but will there be any legislations in the future where they don't need any consent from the guardians, where they can do it on their own because of the society or their fear where they can't tell their family or anyone?
No, I don't think there is going to be any legislation in the future because a child is a child. So a minor is a minor, irrespective of the fact. See, and you never know whether the minor, you can't give that thing because ultimately it is a procedure, a medical procedure that the child is going to undergo. And it is not necessary that the child should tell the parents or their guardians before she goes on that operating table. Don't you think so? Then won't it come as a shock to the parents if they know that their girl has undergone a procedure and she has died on the table? Then who do they hold responsible? And do you think that children of today have that, have the courage to take decisions on their own? I'm sure not. Because if they were capable of taking decisions, they would have ensured that they would not become pregnant in the first place. They would have taken precautions. They would not have gone and, indulged in these kind of acts before marriage. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do understand, but it's 2022, and will there be any reduction of the age limit from 18 to?
I don't think from where 16 to 12, 10. What is the age reduction you are looking at?
I am looking at maybe a couple years reduction, like 16.
Okay, 16. Yeah, 16 is a minor, right? So she is considered a minor, and I don't think that will be further reduced.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
India is not yet, ready for that kind of a mindset. Even this, I don't know. See, that is why I said the government needs to create awareness at all levels, right? From the district level, city level, urban level, villages, everywhere. It has to tell what the judgment is all about, what sex education is all about, what healthcare facilities are available, availability of contraceptives and things like that. These all things should be made aware, and also told that what are the consequences of having force or having a sexual affair or a sexual kind of to prevent rapes and all from happening, you see, because sometimes the girls are so innocent, they don't even know what are good touches or what are bad touches. So sex education in schools are very important.
Okay, ma'am.
Kalyan, Dr. Karamsa is willing to speak something. Please unmute him.
Sir, you are unmuted, sir. You can speak.
So, good evening, madam and the organizers. I'm Dr. Kamasai, Associate Professor of KL University, College of Law, KL University, Vijayawada. Just, it is nice that you have organized a seminar on the subject of vital importance, not only theoretical, but also practical and eternal importance. I have my own views to ventilate on the recent judgment. One, the Honorable Supreme Court seems to have banked upon the concept of due process, according to which an American citizen, a woman more so, has absolute, unconditional, and uncompromising freedom to have full monopoly over her body. So on the line of that interpretation, the law seems to have ruled that in India also every girl, every female, irrespective of the age and the consent of their parents or husbands, they have one has the right to have her pregnancy aborted. Sir, with much respect to judiciary, can we feel if the other side of the coin that the judgment would be a license to the unwanted pregnancy and unlicensed or unpermitted sexual relations?
Sir, first and foremost,
One.
please. Yeah.
Second, just madam, just next another doubt is whether this judgment of the Supreme Court is it consistent with the concept of fair, just and reasonable procedure, the concept enunciated by the Honorable Supreme Court in Maneka Gandhi's case? Do you think whether on the basis of mere ratio of this Honorable Supreme Court, can that this ruling be implemented?
Have you finished with the questions or you still have questions?
Yes, madam. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so Professor, this is, this judgment is due to the changing times, changing mindsets. Why is it? It is not about, it's not as if it's never happened in the past. It's been happening in the past, leading to a lot of maternal mortal deaths. It has been happening. It is, there are unlicensed clinics all over the country where, they go and abort a female fetus. That PCPNDT Act also has come where they want to prevent this kind of, female feticide and things like that. But what happens? How can a girl of today, in today's life, live with a stigma? And moreover, you see, it is not question of husbands here. The MTP Act has replaced the word husband with the word partner. So in 2010, if you see, the Supreme Court recognized a live-in relationship. They brought it within the purview of a Domestic Violence Act of 2005. And also, please don't forget this, Professor, a woman, I'm not saying married, unmarried, minor, major. A woman, when she has got rights under the Maternity Benefit Act, when she has rights under the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, when she has rights under the Hindu Succession Act, why can't she have a right under the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act? How do you expect her to come and give birth to a child, and without her partner, you mean to say she should suffer that stigma throughout her life, for the rest of her life? No, that is not fair. That is a very unfair thing. So you have to change with changing times, Professor. You're from the old school of thought. But today, if you see, internet and all has gone, way past everything. Everyone is aware of what's happening and things like that. And see, it is a question of pro-life or pro-choice. You want to secure the right of an unborn child to a person who is living. You want to kill a woman even before she sees what life is. Are you giving importance to a womb? I mean, that is very unfair. Please remember that the woman who has entered into a consensual relationship, or she's a rape survivor, or she's a victim of incest, or any kind of a trauma, she should not be allowed to live this kind of agony.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
I hope I made myself clear, Professor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are there anyone else?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, madam.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening to all for this organizer, especially C. Pawan Kalyan sir and M. Meena Reddy garu. Ma'am, really happy, but I am actually for English Stream Humanities. I don't know idea for the given opportunity for this. I inspired madam so many issues. The type of sexual, the type of the 7 type of the change you explain. I really happy, madam. Anyway, the given LSA organizers are really happy, madam. This is my question, madam. Thank you, madam.
Okay, thank you. What exactly was his question, Pawan? Because there was a lot of echoing.
Actually, he was not asking a question, madam. He was telling that he was not aware of this judgment, but due to this meeting, he got an awareness regarding the topic.
So just ask him whether he was, what do you say? Was he enlightened on the subject? Did he like it?
Truly enlightened, ma'am.
Okay.
Are there any questions regarding the topic? Anyone, unmute yourself and speak to ma'am. Like, ma'am, I'm having a personal question on the topic. That is, like in some religions, all these unmarried and abortions are like prohibited and treated as sins. So what is the effect on the society? Like, is it relevant with the judgment? Like, are they?
See, that is what I told you, Reena. See, the judgment has come, but it needs to be implemented. And how do you implement it? It is for the government to make things, create awareness amongst people. And what is lacking in our country? Half of them live in villages. The women are not educated. Education is the greatest tool when you are giving it to a woman. You educate a man, you educate a man. But when you educate a woman, you educate her. You educate a family, you educate a village. So because a woman, when she's empowered, she empowers others also. So that is what I'm trying to say is it's the government's duty to provide healthcare facilities, to provide awareness programs, to tell people what are the what are your rights, how do you go about it. And it is not a taboo anymore. So and another thing is you have to the government has also have to provide safety nets for people, right? And they also should not allow somebody to walk over them. It is not a taboo anymore, but yes, one has to be careful. So one has to be careful means what? One has to know what the laws are. Whether if it's a rape and you don't allow a man to just walk over you, trample over you, and make life miserable. It is a harassment, it is a torture. There are so many women, young girls in this country who committed suicide, not knowing how to face society, because society is very insensitive. So that is what it's my plea to the government, that yes, sex education should be taught. It should be taught in schools, because young children don't even know, even the boys don't know. And see, and at the end of the day, they are young, they are all humans, they have emotions. Some are forced, some without force come together. It happens. So how is this going to be addressed? So it is the government's prerogative to have these kind of awareness programs right at the villages and all that.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yeah, now you're.
Ma'am, what are the factors, like why the society is not accepting these kind of judgments? Like maybe, ma'am.
See, judgments, the society doesn't know. Now one viewer also came there and said, I was not aware of the judgment, right? So society it has to wake up. So waking up means what? You have to ensure that there is education reaches, that primary schools are there, primary health centers are there, children are given education, women are empowered. So it all starts with what? It starts with empowering women. It starts with education. So the basic thing is knowledge. Everybody should know how to, read, write. The basic tool to anything in life in today's world is education. One should know their rights, so they have to learn how to at least minimum basic qualification they should have, right? Or they should have somebody in the family who knows that.
Thank you, yes. Are there any questions so far?
Ma'am, how will they provide any awareness to the uneducated women? Hello.
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm not able to hear your question at all.
Ma'am,
I
how
didn't
will
hear you at all.
they are Supreme Court is passing judgments year after year, but how are they planning to bring awareness into the people who are, like, because some people are uneducated, some women are, so how will they bring awareness?
Yeah, so that is for the legislature, right? That is for the governments to take it to the level. That is for the ministers to act, for people at your taluk level, your councillors, your municipal MLAs. All of those people should act on these judgments, right? The judges and the judgment cannot go to every house. It is for the legislature to come. The executive should come into the place, into thing, and take it to the next level. You have the social welfare minister, you have the health minister. So these kind of things should be put on notice boards. There should be campaigns. There should be, if you go to watch a film, you should have a 2-minute film on contraceptives, and these kind of things. It should be highlighted. So that is not for the Supreme Court to do. It is for the legislature and the executive to act. Yes, Pavan, are we done?
Ma'am, there are a few questions in the YouTube live also. Can I read it out with your permission?
Yeah, just read it out.
Yes, ma'am. Up to which extent the access of safe abortion services can be practiced in present society? The question is asked by Venkata Susila, ma'am.
So what does she want to know?
She wants to know that up to which extent the access of safe abortion services can be practiced in present society.
Up to what extent means what? So up to what extent? So anybody who wants to terminate their pregnancy, previously the registered medical practitioners would not allow. They would put a lot of questions. They would say, we will not terminate because we will be arrested. We will be arrested under section 312 to 318 of IPC. So we will not do it. That is why women went to the court and then they got orders, right? So now every registered medical practitioner, every public hospital, dispensary, or wherever this medical termination of pregnancy is done, they should have these kind of pamphlets. They should have notice boards and also spell out what are the procedures.
Ma'am, what is your opinion on self-aborting techniques?
See, that self-aborting techniques is fatal, right? It's only available till 3 months. So there are so many Unani medicines, Ayurvedic medicines, you eat papaya, this, that. So that is till 3 months. But what after 3 months? So after 3 months only that they can move the MTP, and the medical practitioner, he can give a certificate and say, yes, she has to undergo. There were 7 clauses. I said, no, 7 female categories who could access this MTP. But now it's gone one step further with the confidentiality clause, where an unmarried woman is able to abort her fetus without anybody's permission. She has her own right over her own body.
Ma'am, and the next one is adultery a part of this act?
Adultery is off the statute. It is there only for divorce cases. So it is not criminal anymore.
Like, ma'am.
And where is the question of adultery? Where is the question of adultery? Whether it is adultery, no adultery, consent, no consent, she has every right to go. And a married woman can also, who's subjected to marital rape, has her right over her body. She can go and do it. So there is no question of anyone's consent out here. Straight away.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
And Babji sir also have the.
Are there any questions so far?
Sir, Babji sir, you are unmute, sir,
I
please.
think I've taken enough questions, Pavan.
It is the last question, ma'am. No problem.
Okay.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening, madam. Good evening, madam.
Sir, you are audible, sir. You can ask your question, sir.
Okay, thank you. Recently, after this judgment came out, while interacting seniors, seniors, otherwise some orthodox people are fearing about the more liberty to youngsters to proceed liberal what you say, to take advantage of this
Sir, let me tell you something.
and is there any
Sir, I will tell you something. It is not about. Sir, it is not about liberty being given or somebody taking undue advantage. These things have been happening. These things have been happening on the slide. And to be very honest with you, it is only the woman, the young girl who is subjected to a lot of torture and trauma. She will not be even able to tell her parents. There are so many instances I told you of suicide cases and things like that. So it is not as if it's never happened in the past. It's been happening in the past. If people have been going to quacks, illegal centers to get aborted, dying on the table and things like that. So you really mean to say that is this a very advantageous thing? No, it is not, because at the end of the day, that society, that taboo is going to be there. It is, yes, orthodox people are there, but with today's changing times, everyone has to change. No, sir. Just imagine orthodox man. Okay, what if his daughter goes and gets pregnant? Please tell me what happens.
Yes.
He does not even, at least even if it's a minor girl, he will go, at least he will go with her with that confidence that, look, I will not be subjected to any kind of humiliation. I do not have to tell who's my daughter or who am I. That confidentiality at least is protected. No, his dignity is protected. His family's so-called societal status is protected. Previously, was it there? It wasn't there. No, that woman had to move the court to get her right to get aborted. So don't you think it is a welcome step?
Yes, sir. Definitely, madam. But is there any chance? I am asking that. Is there any chance to increase the relationship among the youth and other consequences? So many landmark decisions by the Supreme Court leading more liberty to women. That's why.
Sir, it only shows a progressive mindset. To look at America, sir, in 1973, they brought out that case. Which one? Joe versus Reid. Now, after 51 years, they have turned and said it is illegal abortion in Dobbs' case. What does it show? It shows only the regressive mindset. So we also have to change with changing times, right?
Okay, ma'am.
It all depends on the mindset, sir.
Okay, yes. Actually, I am asking: is there any chance to increase the liberally taking decisions by the women in respect of this attitude, because of they have somehow right due to this judgment?
Sir, I will tell you one thing. Let us take this case in hand. No, I will give you this answer. Let us take this case in hand, sir. Who moved the court? No, can you hear me?
Yes, madam.
Can you hear me?
Yes, madam.
Yeah.
Yes.
So who moved this court? Who moved the Supreme Court? A 25-year-old young woman moved the Supreme Court. Why did she move the Supreme Court? Because she was in a consensual relationship with somebody, and that somebody said he will not marry her. Now you please tell me, is it proper on the part of the government to ask her to continue with the pregnancy and harass her and subject her to mental torture and trauma? Who is going to bring up the child? Should she be subjected to the rest of her life for having an unwanted child? Was it not correct on the part of the Supreme Court to uphold her right, her dignity, her affront to her personal dignity? Why do you want to subject somebody like that when her partner has refused? Why should she be burdened with bringing up a child alone?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. Definitely, I accept this argument. But is there any chance? I am asking that, doubting.
Well,
that
I didn't
am
hear
asking.
your question.
Yes, sir.
I'm just
Thank
giving
you.
you an answer. So what was your question? Because I can't hear you at all. You're echoing.
Is there any chance in future to increase, increasing the freedom of sexual attitude of youngsters on the basis of this judgment? My question is that.
Sir, I don't know about whether they are going to increase or decrease. We'll just have to wait and watch. Maybe 10 years or 15 years down the lane, something may come.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions?
In YouTube live, ma'am, we got a few questions. If you permit, I will,
Pavan?
ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes.
why don't judiciary create awareness programs for uneducated women about abortions and sexual
What do you,
issues?
is it the judiciary role? Is it the role of the judiciary to create awareness, or is it the government's role? Please tell me.
Actually, it
Yes,
is
ma'am, definitely.
talking about executive role, ma'am. But question is that
Then, is it not the duty of every MLA, every councillor, every minister? Is it not his duty to ensure that the public are aware of their rights? Everything about their health care, primary education, whatever. Is it not their duty? Is it the duty of the Supreme Court?
yes, ma'am.
It's definitely the duty of executives, ma'am.
So,
And one more question. What is your opinion on the Supreme Court judgment on abortion, ma'am? What is your opinion?
I told you, I hail it as a welcome step. It's a progressive step, and given the fact that it has extended the same yardstick to both unmarried and... See, I'm telling you once again, I'm reiterating my stand here. The Hindu Adoption Act, the Maternity Benefit Act, and the Succession Act categorically gives rights to an unmarried woman. An unmarried woman can adopt. Unmarried woman, okay? She also has the right to the maternity benefit. So why this hue and cry about this abortion? Please tell me. Is she not entitled? Are you saying that that woman should have delivered the child and suffered the rest of her life while her boyfriend went? And then just put yourself in that woman's place. Just see the harassment, the trauma, the social taboo. I mean, how is she going to bring up that child? And will she be happy with that child? See, when you conceive with happiness that I'm bringing a life. You should yearn to be a mother. Nobody should be forced to be your mother. Something that you're not liking, you should not be forced to live with it. That is my stand as a woman. And I welcome this judgment as a progressive judgment. Landmark judgment delivered on Safe Abortion Day.
Yes, ma'am, completely agreed with this. And let us put to an end for a very interesting webinar. And just one last question, if you don't mind. What would you advise to the people present over there and people who are aspiring to be lawyers? A small advice from your side.
Aspiring to be lawyers, yes, it's a very, very hard journey. Very, very, stimulating journey, very challenging. But you must have the patience, because Rome was not built in a day. The same way you should have focus, dedication, honesty in whatever you do, and a selfless goal to excel. No competition with anyone, but give your best. No question of making money immediately. Put on your heart, soul, and efforts, and you will reap the results. Dedication and integrity and honesty, sincere hard work is the mantra.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure that my co-lawmates are highly motivated and inspired by your words.
I'm sure they should be, because I have 30 years behind me. So it's not been an easy ride. It's been a roller coaster ride. I've had my ups and downs, but yes, persistence, focus was always there, and hard work. Yes.
It is our fortune to have you, ma'am. And definitely we all are going to implement all these learnings given by you. So on behalf of whole association and our Law Students Association, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to you, ma'am.
Thank
And
you
for,
so much.
for enlightening us with your valuable knowledge and giving us your precious time. Thank you, ma'am. And we would also like to have a long-term association with you in future.
Thank
And
you
I would also like to thank Yagna Legal for sponsoring Zoom access. Thank you. Signing off, Reena. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Pawan.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
ma'am.
Reena. Jai
Thank you so
Hind.
much, ma'am.
Happy holidays, happy Saraswati Puja, happy Durgashtami kal ke liye, for tomorrow. So
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Always,
you.
you are supporting it. It is, I didn't express in words, ma'am, because of whenever I request you, you're always a positive response you given by you, ma'am. It is really, we are very happy for that. Thank you so much, ma'am.
honestly speaking, I'm not a good teacher. So this is where I get to interact with students. So I hope I've done justice to the role. Thank you so much.
Definitely have done a very good job, like explaining all the judgments. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for this wonderful session and awareness. Nice to meet you.
Good evening, Dada Salam Garu, Nagay Garu.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Okay, ma'am.
Pawan Kalyan Garu, Reena Reddy Garu.
పవన్ గారికి రీనా రెడ్డి గారికి ధన్యవాదాలు.
చాలా మంచి
ప్రోగ్రామ్ కండక్ట్ చేశారు మేడం గారు.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
సార్ పవన్ కళ్యాణ్ గారు నా అభిప్రాయం